let me tell you about 12 boys in Oxford. When I was teaching in a secondary school in Oxford, I had to teach year 9, 10, and 11. That is, kita punya tingkatan 3, 4, dan 5 bahasa Inggeris. I was also assigned a year 7 class, Form 1, okay, which only had 12 boys. Most of the classes will have about 24, 25 students. Only 12 boys were year 7. That school had about 4 classes, okay, about 4 classes for each form. So for English, mathematics, and science, the students are categorized or divided into different classes according to their ability, which means that the students who are good in English will be in class A, Form 1 English A, okay, Form 1 English B, Form 1 English C, Form 1 English D. Then class saya E. Okay. 12 budak ni semua adalah murid-murid pendidikan khas. Dan mereka tidak boleh masuk kelas English A, B, C atau D untuk tingkatan 1 kerana dia punya tahap bahasa Inggeris mereka lebih kurang sama dengan murid tahun 4. So kalau tahap bahasa dia tahap bahasa mereka ni adalah tahap darjah 4, tak boleh lah mereka ni belajar bahasa Inggeris tahun 7 atau tingkatan 1. So saya diberitahu saya tak ada textbook tau untuk budak-budak ini. Okay, saya design my own curriculum. Okay, cikgu dan ketua bahasa Inggeris pun kata, as long as you keep them quite quiet, we are fine. Maknanya, kalau dia tak berapa belajar pun tak apa. Kita ni tak mau mereka bising-bising jerit-jerit. Buat kecoh. Okay. So, oleh kerana mereka ni budak lelaki, okay, saya buat lesson plan untuk mengajar mereka Hercules. Okay, kerana saya ni mengajar di Oxford tahun 2001 dan 2002. So Hercules itu adalah satu animated movie or cartoon made by Disney. So saya pergi library, saya cari buku cerita Hercules yang lebih senangnya untuk budak yang tahap maybe primary school. So kita buat macam ni. Saya pun pergi cari video. Saya dibagi permission lah untuk membeli video tu. So kita ni tengok video. Okay, let's say 10 minit, stop. Baca the short story Hercules. Okay. Hercules itu okay, adalah macam dewa dan dia okay, ada adventure. Okay, adventure dia ialah he will fight with all the different monsters. So murid lelaki ni gembira tau. Get to read about monsters. So baca. And saya bagi dia tugasan. Tugasan tu adalah okay, you design a monster for Hercules to fight. Okay, so you design it. Okay, and then afterwards you have to make a card for your monster. You all remember Pokemon? Okay, dia ada card kan? Setiap Pokemon tu ada satu card dengan dia punya strength, dia punya weakness semua tu. Okay, gembiranya. So mereka buat untuk I think two lessons. Okay, one lesson to design and then the next lesson to make that card. And after that, they made the card. Okay, I got them to do what? Speaking. You must stand in front of the class and tell your classmates about your monster. Okay. After that, okay, mereka ni, saya suruh mereka ni, pairs in pairs, you sit down. Now you write me a short story about, okay, Hercules fighting with your monster. Okay. So the whole thing took me, because kita ni ada kelas bahasa Inggeris tiap-tiap hari, 5 periods, 1 week. Selepas tu, okay, all their work, dia punya Pokemon card, teman, dia punya story tu, kita letak di board di luar, notice board di luar. Di England, tiap-tiap guru ada kelas sendiri. So, murid tu datang kelas saya. Wah, guru-guru bahasa Inggeris yang lain got a shock, you know. How come they can do this work? You know why they can? Number one, the topic was interesting. Hercules, these are boys fighting monster. Wow. They liked it because of that. All right, they were interested. And because they were interested, all right, they were willing to sit down, to write, to draw. And because they were so focused on writing and drawing, there was no behavior problem. Normally, pendidikan khas dia ada, okay, masalah kelakuan. So if your lesson is interesting, all right, the students will focus and you will have less behavior problem. All right, so it's worth spending the time, okay, to look for materials to make your classes interesting. Okay. Ini adalah asas tingkah laku, ya. Asas tingkah laku. These are the basic principles of behavior. Number one, semua tingkah laku dipelajari. Be careful, lah. Semua tingkah laku dipelajari. Oleh itu, cikgu adalah contoh, kan? So, okay, your children learn from what you do. So you do this. Stop talking and sit down. Wah, you cakap macam tu, murid pun ikutlah. Menjerit kerana you menjerit. Okay. Dan juga tingkah laku, alright, boleh dipelajari, okay, baik, dari murid yang lain. So kalau ada satu murid, okay, making a problem, kelakuannya tak baik, you mesti immediately, okay, bagi dia ajaran macam mana, okay, behave, to behave in a good, in a appropriate way. Tingkah laku menunjukkan suatu fungsi. There is a function. Budak itu nak, okay, sesuatu daripada guru. What is the function? What is it that the child wants? Persekitaran pengaruhi tingkah laku. Kalau sangat bising, di luar semua sangat bising, okay, semua orang akan jerit-jerit dan very irritated. Kalau sangat panas, kalau keadaan cuaca sangat panas pun ada problem, kan? I know, I akan dapat saya akan kepala sakit dan I become very irritable my students. So, kurang mahir atau cekap beri kesan tingkah laku. Okay. Kepentingan pendekatan berpasukan. Semua guru mesti, okay, berfungsi sebagai one team. So, semua guru, semua kelas akan ikut peraturan yang sama. And then, hubungan sangat penting. Hubungan dengan guru sesama guru, hubungan dengan guru dan ibu bapa, dan hubungan, especially hubungan guru dengan murid. Kita ni tahu kan, bila saudara-saudara di sekolah, adakah seorang guru yang digemari? Okay. Kalau guru digemari itu mengajar mata pelajaran geografi, bila nak buat homework geografi, kita buat dengan lebih baik kan? Okay. Handwriting is nicer. The map that we draw and we color also we do properly. Kerana kita suka, kita gemar guru tu. Kalau adalah subjek yang you tak suka atau cikgu yang you tak suka, homework punya macam mana? Buat saja. So same thing with your student. If your student has a good relationship with you, the student actually behaves better and does better work. Okay. So what are the functions of behavior? One, access to tangible items. That means they want something. So, wow! Have you seen children at Toys R Us? The parents say, okay, let's go. The child screams and screams. I've actually seen children rolling on the floor. Okay, atas lantai. Why? They want the parents to buy a toy. And what I've noticed is this. A number of the parents quickly pay for it and then take the child away. Why? They're embarrassed that the child is screaming. But you know what is going to happen? Next time the child wants something, he will start screaming. Why? Because he has learned, all right, that if he rolls around and screams, throws a tantrum, he will get what he wants. Next, escape from unfavorable situations. Dia tak nak buat sesuatu. Okay. Next, seeking attention. Okay, seeking attention. The child wants attention from the teacher. The child wants attention from the mother. Okay, and usually there are two ways of getting attention. One is positive. Those of us who do know some children to do very good work and they know they'll be praised. Okay, all right. So that's getting attention in a positive way. But then there are some, okay, who are left out like in a way. All right, they doesn't get much attention from the teacher, no praise, nothing. So what happens? They may do this, crack, move the chair and all that. Why? John, stop rocking the chair. Crack, John, he wants attention from you. Even if it's negative attention when you're scolding also is okay. Kenapa? Kerana you panggil nama dia. Then getting automatic satisfaction. Okay. Ada budak-budak lah yang suka, okay, move like this or that, you know. Okay. Pinching. All right. Then moving one foot. Keep tapping the right foot, then you go tap, very interesting, irritating. They do it because, all right, they can feel it. And they do this. Okay, so you need to help them understand that.